Today is Newcastle's critical deadline, with the threat of a potential points deduction or a transfer ban looming. The latest received email from the Premier League has revealed the scary truth. However, Newcastle United are making shocking moves. So from breaking down the crazy transfers as Newcastle United offer Anthony Gordon to Premier League rivals, to revealing Newcastle's swap deal proposition to Nottingham Forest, to discussing on Newcastle being in advanced talks with Brighton over £30 million deal. Plus, we'll also reveal Sky Italy's Gianluca Di Marzio claim regarding Tottenham's £60 million star being offered in a part exchange bid for Newcastle United's Alexander Isak, as well as discuss the cryptic message from Newcastle star regarding his potential exit. Join us as we uncover the latest Newcastle United news. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you won't want to miss a single moment of this incredible journey.
Let's go!
Starting off, according to recent reports, Tottenham Hotspur's Brazilian forward Richarlison has refuted a claim from Sky Italy's Gianluca Di Marzio regarding a potential swap deal involving Newcastle United's Alexander Isak. Di Marzio had reported that Newcastle had recently rejected an offer from Tottenham, which included Richarlison in a player plus cash deal for Isak. However, Richarlison quickly dismissed this rumor, commenting fake in response to a Spurs supporter account sharing the news. Isak, who scored 25 goals for Newcastle over the 2023-24 season, the most by a Newcastle player since Alan Shearer in 2004, has certainly attracted significant interest after his impressive campaign. Earlier this week, there were reports of Chelsea making an inquiry about the Swedish striker. However, all indications from Newcastle suggest that Isak is very content in the Northeast, and the club have no intention of selling their prized asset to a Big Six rival. The Magpies are clearly focused on building their team around Isak, rather than entertaining any potential swap deals or transfer offers for the 24-year-old. The quick rejection of the reported Tottenham offer by Richarlison himself suggests that there may have been little substance to the rumor, and that Newcastle remain committed to keeping Isak as a key part of their plans for the future. Then moving on, according to exclusive reports from Telegraph Sport, Newcastle United and Nottingham Forest are engaged in talks over a potential swap deal involving their respective wingers Yankuba Minteh and Anthony Elanga. The sources have revealed that the discussions between the two clubs have intensified over the past 24 hours, as Newcastle are under significant pressure to complete a deal before the June 30th deadline in order to comply with the Premier League's Profit and Sustainability (P&S) rules. Newcastle had previously raised the possibility of including midfielder Elliot Anderson in a swap deal, but the loss of the highly rated youngster would be a significant blow for manager Eddie Howe. Instead, the Magpies have now offered Minteh as part of the potential deal, and Forest are said to be considering this proposal, although they are also focused on other transfer targets at this stage. Meanwhile, as reported by Sky Sport News reporter Keith Downey, Nottingham Forest are under no pressure to sell Elanga, who is considered a core member of Nuno Espirito Santo's first-team squad. And in a questionable development, according to recent reports, Newcastle United have received an email from the Premier League reiterating the potential punishments for fraudulent player transfers during the ongoing summer transfer window. The correspondence from the Premier League has been sent out to all 20 top-flight clubs as a reminder that they will face consequences if found guilty of such practices, particularly amid the increasing number of so-called player swap deals taking place between clubs. BBC Sport has reported that the email from the Premier League was issued following unusual activity in the transfer window, which has involved clubs selling or attempting to sell players to each other. It is understood that at least one top-flight club planned to raise this issue with the Premier League. The concerns stem from suggestions that these swap deals between clubs would allow them to remain within the Premier League's Profit and Sustainability rules (P&S). However, the Premier League's letter has warned that a transfer fee would be returned to the selling club if the top-flight lawmakers decide the deal has been inflated. While there is still ample time left for clubs to conduct business in the transfer market, the Profit and Sustainability rules deadline is rapidly approaching. This has led some to speculate that the timing of this email, coupled with Newcastle United's own transfer situation, may suggest that the Premier League is taking active steps to limit the eventual growth and dominance of Newcastle United by any means necessary. It is important to note that the Premier League's warning applies to all 20 clubs and is not targeted specifically at Newcastle United. However, the Magpies' recent takeover and their ambitions to become a dominant force in the Premier League may have contributed to the league's heightened scrutiny of such transfer practices. Then moving on, according to reports, the Newcastle United fan base has been left shocked by the news that the club tried to offload star midfielder Anthony Gordon this summer. Journalist Craig Hope has stated that the 23-year-old attacking midfielder should be an indispensable asset for the Magpies. However, due to the club's desperate situation in trying to comply with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability regulations, PSR, they have been forced to consider drastic measures. This week, Newcastle approached Liverpool in an attempt to sell Gordon, a player the Reds are known to admire. As part of the proposed deal, the Magpies wanted Liverpool's Jarell Quansah to move in the opposite direction. However, the talks have since broken down, with Liverpool unwilling to lose Quansah, who they see as a future England international. While there remains a chance that the Reds could be willing to revisit the negotiations with a different package for Gordon, the news of Newcastle's attempts to offload the player has already shocked the club's fan base. Gordon, who is currently with the England squad for the Euro 2024 Championships, joined Newcastle from Everton for £45 million just 18 months ago. He has become a hugely popular figure among the Magpies supporters, having scored 11 goals and provided 10 assists in the Premier League last season, being named the club's Player of the Year. The report suggests that Gordon is happy at St James's Park and is enjoying his football under the management of Eddie Howe. However, there is an acceptance within the club that they may need to reluctantly trade the player in order to meet the PSR requirements. Overall, the Newcastle United fan base has been left shocked by the news that the club has attempted to offload their star midfielder Anthony Gordon, who was the team's standout player last season. This is not the only player the Magpies have tried to offload this summer in their efforts to comply with the PSR rules. Newcastle have also attempted to sell young winger Yankuba Minteh. According to reports, Newcastle United is in advanced negotiations with Brighton and Hove Albion over a potential £30 million deal for young winger Yankuba Minteh. The Eye's Mark Douglas has revealed that the Seagulls have stepped up their interest in the 19-year-old Gambian international and have held extensive talks with Newcastle over a transfer. It is believed that other clubs, including Everton, Borussia Dortmund, and Lyon, have also shown significant interest in Minteh. However, Brighton appears to have emerged as the front-runner to secure the player's signature, likely appealing to his desire to continue playing in the Premier League. One potential sticking point in the negotiations is that Brighton is unlikely to agree to a buyback clause for Newcastle, which would limit the Magpies' ability to re-sign the winger in the future if he were to impress at the Amex Stadium. However, given Newcastle's pressing need to comply with the PSR rules, this may be a concession they are willing to make. And in a recent massive exclusive development, according to various reliable sources, Newcastle United have reportedly accepted a £33 million bid from Brighton and Hove Albion for young winger Yankuba Minteh. Minteh, the 19-year-old Gambian international, is now set to undergo a medical with the South Coast club as the transfer moves forward. Newcastle had previously explored other options, including a £40 million offer from Lyon that the player was reluctant to accept, instead holding out for a potential move to Everton. With the accounting period deadline looming tonight, the acceptance of Brighton's £33 million bid appears to be a strategic move by Newcastle to ensure they comply with the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. The sale of Minteh could potentially alleviate the pressure on the Magpies to offload other high-profile players, such as Isak and Gordon, who have been integral to the team's recent success and future aspirations. This development underscores the delicate balancing act Newcastle must navigate as they strive to maintain their squad's strength while simultaneously meeting the league's financial regulations. The club's supporters will undoubtedly be relieved to see the potential retention of key players as Newcastle continue their journey towards establishing themselves as a dominant force in the Premier League. Then in another development, Newcastle United striker Callum Wilson has sparked speculation about his future at the club after posting a cryptic message on social media. The 32-year-old, who scored 9 goals for Newcastle last season, is second in the club's all-time Premier League top goalscorer charts behind the legendary Alan Shearer with 48 goals. While Wilson's form in front of goal has been impressive, his injury record has been a source of frustration, as he missed 25 games last season. Despite this, Newcastle head coach Eddie Howe has previously expressed his desire to keep Wilson, acknowledging that it would take a significant amount of money to replace a striker of his quality. However, uncertainty remains surrounding Wilson's future, particularly after his recent Instagram post that read, "Growing sometimes means leaving people behind." This type of cryptic activity from the striker is not unusual, but it has still sparked discussions among fans and media. As Newcastle looks to boost their transfer budget to comply with Premier League profitability and sustainability rules (PSR), player sales may be necessary this summer. Wilson, who is entering the final 12 months of his contract at St James's Park after joining from AFC Bournemouth in 2020, has garnered interest from several clubs, including some in the Middle East and the United States. In a recent interview, Wilson stated that his immediate focus is on finishing the current season strongly and securing a spot in England's Euro squad. However, when asked about his future after scoring in Newcastle's 4-1 win at Burnley on May 4th, he acknowledged that he is still under contract with the club. Howe, on the other hand, has expressed his desire to retain Wilson's services, stating that he will do everything in his power to make it happen. The Newcastle manager praised Wilson's mentality and focus, describing him as a monster who is determined to perform at his best. However, according to the latest reports, Newcastle United are open to sanctioning the exit of striker Callum Wilson, with several clubs expressing interest in the player. Journalist Jacobs has reported on X, formerly Twitter, that there is strong Saudi interest in Wilson, and that Newcastle are happy to sanction a sale. However, it remains unclear whether Wilson himself is prepared to make a move to the Saudi Pro League. The report also indicates that 3 different clubs have expressed an interest in acquiring Wilson's services, though the specific identities of these interested parties are not disclosed. While Wilson's future remains uncertain, it appears that a departure from Newcastle is a more likely outcome at this stage. Then, in other Newcastle United news, Newcastle United have announced their pre-season schedule, confirming 3 friendly matches ahead of the upcoming 2023-24 season. The Magpies will take on Championship side Hull City on Saturday, July 27th at 2 p.m., with the match set to take place at the MKM Stadium. Hull finished 7th in the Championship last season and will provide a strong test for Eddie Howe's team as they prepare for the new campaign. Following the match against Hull, Newcastle will travel to Japan to participate in the J-League International Series. The Magpies will face Urawa Red Diamonds on July 31st and Yokohama F. Marinos on August 3rd as part of this tour. Upon their return from Japan, Newcastle are expected to take part in the Sela Cup, although the participants in this summer's tournament are yet to be officially confirmed. In addition to the confirmed matches, the club is also expected to spend time at Adidas's headquarters in Germany for a training camp at some stage in July. However, this has not yet been officially announced. Tickets for the Hull City friendly will go on sale on Monday, July 1st at 2 p.m., with a £4,500 allocation offered. Prices are set at £15 for adults, £7.50 for seniors 65 plus, and 16-22 years, £7.50 for juniors aged 11, 15 years, and £3.50 for those aged between 2 and 10. The announcement of these preseason fixtures is an exciting step forward for Newcastle United as they prepare for the new season. Fans will be eager to see how the team performs in these warm-up matches, especially with the potential Sela Cup tournament on the horizon. Then finally, if you would want to know Newcastle's secret new deal that has been revealed, click the video link on screen now.